Did you guys set out to be incorporate sports into your comedy? And I mean, because it's not. Well, I guess there's some people that kind of do that.
I mean,
it is. I mean, it's a natural hybrid. You know,
totally. But I don't think anyone's done it because and this is what we were saying. I don't think people have looked at it and said, I need this to be as funny as the funniest comedies. Yeah. I think in the past people have been like, let's just do a funny sports show.
Right.
And it's well, that's
a very crucial point. Yeah.
Totally. Because then all the sports people are like, it's not sportsy enough. And all the comedy people are like, it's not funny enough. And you're like, well, wait a minute, it's got to fit that. And so we like putting our lens on that. I'd say if you came to see us do stand-up, an hour of stand-up wouldn't have a lot of sports in it. It just doesn't, because that's not what we're talking about so much, but some of it does. But I don't know. We grew up in St. Louis. We were huge sports fans, Cardinals fans. We went to the University of Michigan, huge sports fans. There's always something so funny about how serious people are about their sports. They take it so sports is literally the lowest stakes thing in your life. I mean, I was talking to you, my wife is just going through breast cancer. We've been through that for the last year and a half. That's a real thing.
Yeah,
that's real life.
Yeah,
if Alabama loses, like the Crimson Tide fans lose their brains, and you're like, wait, that's the lowest stakes thing in your life, but it's managed to trick you into thinking it is the highest stakes thing in your life. That to us is hilarious. It's so funny.
It's so funny,
right? You tricked someone in their Yankees fans who are ready to jump off the Verrazano Bridge right now because they're having a bad September and they're finally good again. And we lived through the time in New York when they were unbeatable, and so. Now, those people are like, we can't do anything. This was supposed to be our year, and they're having they're ruining my fall, and you're like, well, no one's ruining your fall.
My younger brother, when the Cubs finally won the World Series,
2016,
he had such a complicated love-hate relationship with that team since infancy, basically, that he told me, I said, aren't you happy? And he said, yes, I'm happy, because he said, I feel like I've been in a bad marriage and now I can get a divorce.
Yes.
He's like, now I can just move on with my life.
Closure.
Yeah.
Closure. They gave him closure.
They did it, and now I can quit,
But by the same token, we have a reverence for it and appreciation for it. So,
because we act like that.
And for that same Cubs victory, our buddy Dan Van Kirk, who wrote on he's our co-host of Dumb People Town, which you've done.
Right.
He's from Rochelle, Illinois, big Chicago Cubs fan, and he went to we helped him get to a World Series game, and just a wonderful, wonderful guy. And they win the World Series, and he's at a bar, and he sees a guy
with a bottle of champagne and two flutes,
and Dan's comes over to him, what's up, buddy? And he is there's a tear in his eye, and he's like, I lost I'm going to get this on my dad. And all we wanted to do was see the Cubs win. That's the only thing we wanted to do.
But he died before it could happen, and Dan was
in the bar? No. Wow. That is a bummer. Here's your champagne, Dad. Oh, my God.
Eighth inning, and he's like, do I watch the end of the game, or do I...
This is more
do
important.
We resuscitate? The Cubs are on the verge.
Death happens all the time. This only happens every 100 years. And so, no, but he was like, I just need someone to toast to. And Dan started to break down in tears,
gosh.
And he's like, I'll do it.
I'll toast your dad with you.
And he toasted this guy, and here's this moment with this stranger and and they were just so happy because this thing, and I'm like, well, it tricked you in the right way there.
You tricked you guys into having a real connective moment.
Yeah.
God,
and it is connective.
It's beautiful.
People you do go into the stands, and it's like, oh wait, this is the diversity relationships that we're all trying to create everywhere.
That's my favorite thing about Dodgers games.
Yes,
is it just feels like one big LA family barbecue.
100%.
Multi-generational families of all different kinds, and it's probably the only time I feel comfortable around people with face tattoos.
Yes. There's a teardrop. He may have killed a guy in prison, but,
but
he just high-fived me. He just high-fived Dodgers.
Go Doyers.
Go Doyers.
No, I mean, but that is truthfully it, that you turn to someone and high five someone you've never met before.
Yeah.
Give someone we've done it at games. So that aspect of it gives us the love that we have for it and the reverence, because what we've learned just through doing comedy and roast battle comedy and stuff with Jeff Ross is there's gotta be love in it. If there's no love in it, if you're not, because when the best roaster when you're roasting people that you love.
Yes.
You're with your friends, and
so if we were snobs who were sports, those meathead losers, it's
you can only go so far in your like understanding of what they're going through and critique. But if you're like, hey, we actually love it too.
Right.
We make those weird, mistakes of giving it more weight than it deserves. And then it also works.
Yeah.
Connects people.